The 991 Generation 911 has a bit of a tumultuous rap sheet in the annals of the 911 history. Some of the 991 offenses included a 2.2-inch overall length increase from the 997 generation cars, a 4-inch longer wheelbase compared to the 997 cars, a transition from hydraulic to electric power steering, a GT3 that was PDK only, and a transition to turbocharged engines across the entire model range. So based on this collection of facts alone, it would support the argument from the 997 camp that's often said, oh yeah, the 997 was the last real 911, the last real driver's 911, the last one that really had the dimensions and the true sports car tactile feel that the 911 is known for. For those of you in said camp, consider this. The 997 base Carrera with PDK transmission weighs 3,207 pounds versus just 3,119 pounds for the 991.1 Carrera equipped with PDK transmission. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. 991 also brought us more power, better sound, quicker PDK shift timing, a Targa model with a full Targa panel again, which hadn't been seen since the 964 generation. 911R brought back the manual transmission into GT cars, which was then parlayed into the 991.2 GT3, much to the excitement of journalists and enthusiasts alike. 991 also brought us a speedster that was powered by a motorsport developed engine, which was also in the GT3, whereas all the previous speedsters were powered by Carrera units. So this brings us to the 992, which it is faster and is more powerful model to model compared to 991 and previous 911s. There's more interior space. The suspension is smoother in its operation. It absorbs differences in the road better than a 991 and prior models. It also has some additional options not seen previously, such as 360 camera, which is pretty popular with many buyers nowadays. But the 992 has also gained weight compared to 991, whereas 991 actually shed weight in a significant amount compared to the 997. The exterior and interior really have more of a digital, computer-drawn look to it compared to 991 prior cars, whereas the older cars had more flowing, softer lines, more of an organic, natural look to them. 992 is very hard edges, very crisp lines, which is not in line with the rest of the 911 model history. But perhaps the biggest gripe with the 992 compared to all of its predecessors is the fit and finish and the material quality of the interior. This was one of the first things I noticed as soon as I sat inside a 992 for the very first time, and I was truly disappointed with how much plastic there was and just the layout of and presentation of said plastic, and how there were so many hard edges on the interior. You didn't have soft, smooth, sloping surfaces like the 991 had, and it really was quite a letdown in my mind, as well as many others. So while the 992 is an absolutely amazing car to drive on the track and on the open road, and it performs tremendously and faster and with more power than ever before, I cannot help but think that the interior was really one of the first times Porsche really cut some corners on the overall quality and material quality of the interior. It absolutely does not have the proverbial bank vault build quality that you found on the 991.
1,000 miles. I have to report the only repeated failure on the car. This gear knob is not fit for purpose. I find it a bit strange because this is the centerpiece of the whole car. The whole point of a touring is it's a manual gearbox. That's the third one. Now, I don't know whether I've just got an unnaturally abrasive left wrist or whether my wrist action, no giggling at the back, is wrong. But yeah, that can just go there. That just breaks the whole time and falls off. But other than that, this is a much, much tougher cabin than a 997. It really has stood up so well. And very else, like I said in the car, this thing has been a joy. And I kind of want to keep on using it forever. What's gone wrong with it? Well, Not much, really. It's just had regular oil changes.
So there you have it. While the predecessor to the 991 is already a bona fide classic, and the successor to the 991 is an absolutely inarguable success in terms of performance, in terms of power output, and further refinement of the chassis. It's smoother. Neither of these cars have the absolute legacy and the importance in the 911 model history that the 991 will have forever.